EA have just added a brand new game mode to F1 25 called Survival Challenge. So let's see what it's all about. So jumping straight in then, and well, the first thing we get is the fan zone stuff, which we all love being forced to do. So ignore the game lag here. That's another glitch that happens for me about 3 minutes after I launch a game. But other than that, yeah, forced into look at all the fan zone stuff when I specifically clicked survival mode. But anyway, once we're through all that, we can back out to F1 World, which is also not what I clicked. But let's back out again so that we can go to the main menu and then finally click survival mode. So here we go. This is survival challenge. And as it explains here, basically it's elimination mode from the last couple of games. They have recycled it again, but to be fair to them, they have mixed it up. So it's now limited to 5 drivers max. So four people plus yourself. Plus, if you look at the right hand side there, we've also got weekly goals and you get points also just for participating. So you actually get kind of rewards for it. And look what you can unlock. This is actually pretty cool. We got 3 helmets there, unique to each race circuit, and a couple of unique liveries. And this is the only way to unlock them. You can't just buy a way in. I really like this idea, but is it just going to be rehashing of the same mode, or is it going to be any different? Let's find out. Well, I say let's find out, but let's actually see a nice error message. So on this day 1 of this brand new game mode, I regularly got error messages just like that one. In fact, in total, across the 5 races that I did on this launch day, I clicked the button 27 times to get in to 5 races. I'll make that less than 20% hit rate to get in successful lobbies. So not the best experience, but I do eventually manage to get in one around COTA in Texas. And it's quite a cool sort of starting screen here. In the top right, you've got the goals and stuff. It explains what you're doing in the bottom left. And basically, it's a much faster version of elimination mode. So lap 1 is collisions disabled. And then quite quickly after that, we'll start to get the person in last place eliminated from the race until we eventually have a race winner. We're getting underway here as we have assisted start, so basically just press the throttle and don't worry about reaction times and stuff like that. We get underway, unsurprising, identically to everybody else, and as I said, collisions are off, so we'll just go right through people here. But weirdly, even when collisions are off, you do still get dirty air, so you ideally want to not be right behind somebody like I am behind the walking goof here. I also wasn't sure what matchmaking would be like in this game mode, whether we basically get a load of news. But to be fair, this first race, this walking goof guy was pretty darn quick, but stupidly, I take track limits in the first few corners, which was crazy of me. I then remember that this is this is EA, so I think, well, you know what? We don't need track limits. Not a single warning so far from all these beautiful lines that I'm putting on here. So there's definitely an advantage to be gained there. Can we beat the walking goof via some beautifully nice lines? And we cut this corner a little bit, not too much that one. We do manage to get inside on there. We do also get DRS, which is enabled from lap 1. For some reason, but I guess with collisions disabled, it doesn't matter too much. As somebody got eliminated there, but it was actually because he left. So that reduces the timer and basically adds that time onto the next guy. So Joey's now got about 2 minutes to try and avoid elimination. But I managed to get past the walking goof nicely there. Take a beautiful line on the exit final corner. We're going to get a warning. Oh, we are going to get a warning for that. How nice. How ominous that we're getting a warning for our one and only track limits violation so far this lap. But it's the collection of the warnings that I got in this race. So once again there, just ignoring the white lines, getting another warning. That's 2. Cut the corner a little bit there. Once again, got off track. Not quite so bad as I did previously. That's 3 warnings. Once again here, same corner. Just obviously just going to carry the appropriate amount of speed to get the warning. That is now 4 warnings across this race. And Alex, I hear you cry. You can do it more than that. Well, don't you worry. We got some coming up. But we do eventually manage to win our first one there. Nothing really doing too much. As I said, the walking goof was actually pretty quick, to be fair to. Put up a decent fight. We do manage to get the win there. Primary objective apparently was to finish 5th place and better. No update about the goals as you finish the race. On to race 2, and with a completely different track of COTA in Texas. Getting underway once again, same thing, assisted starts. Getting a decent enough launch there, trying to control the wheel spin. Obviously, as we know, no collisions lap 1. But now we're thinking, okay, all right, hold on. There's an advantage here for track limits. We can clearly abuse them more than we have been doing. 4 warnings in the last race with no penalty whatsoever. We can definitely do this more. So I just slowly start to see that little cut there, not even a warning for that one apparently. And just, again, there, just slowly amping up. I mean, this is clearly how this game mode is supposed to be played if we're not even getting warnings for this kind of thing. And once again, they get it right to the grass. Beautiful driving, and we take the lead by almost a second already. 5 warnings later, and I'm about to receive my first penalty. I go for this quite big cut there, and I do actually get speed limited. Now, it's honestly a shame they don't use this more, because I really like this penalty system. It's instant. It doesn't worry about warnings or build up of warnings or penalties going to apply at the end. It just immediately slows you down. They built a whole penalty system just for elimination/survival mode, but unfortunately they don't really use it very often because it works. They just are very, very well. You can see, look at the size of that curtain. Just a warning for that one. And you can, by the way, get infinite warnings. I'm sure you've gathered that by now. You can literally get infinite warnings. But how are we going to take Sector 1 here on the final lap? Are we going to, reasonable cut? Yeah, nice big cut there. Okay, we did get a warning for that one, but we know they're infinite. And as far as I can gather, there's no negative to having lots and lots of warnings in the race. My license level after all these races was still A-class, so I don't think it really makes a difference. But yeah, it looks like it's going to be another easy win for us. So just before we go into the next menu, I just want to show you this goal screen here. So they do kind of like advance there when you click into survival challenge. I'd like it if after the race it was like, oh, hey, you know, goal achieved or goal progress or whatever. But you do see it there, so it's not too bad. And we're starting to build up the points to unlock those liveries now. But of course, a few more error sessions later. And what do we get? Oh, it's Kota. You don't need to see the start because that went pretty much the same as the previous starts. But now I'm really just trying to see what I can do with these track limits. These guys have been absolutely blinded by my phenomenal racing lines in Sector 1. We go from about 4th to about 1st there over the corners. So you can hear Mark there warning me about slowing down over the corners. But of course, it doesn't. It's just words. It doesn't actually do anything. So once again, we take the lead. On to lap 2. And I need you to see what line I chose to take through. I literally decided just a straight line it look. Wheel pretty much straight. I do get a warning, but not a slowdown. I completely ignored that sequence of corners, and it was like, yeah, cool, I have a warning that does nothing. Amazing, but should we see what we do on the final lap? Now this one, I literally just opted to completely straight line it and ignore these first couple of corners completely and just aim for that next corner. But I do actually get a speed limit for that one. I do get a slowdown. So there clearly is limits. So as long as you can go right up to those limits and not over it, you will win, I mean, just about every race. So we look at this gap again, just kind of completely across the grass here. I do get speed limiter for that one as well. That was fair enough. So there is limits, but they're just ridiculously far away. 60 seconds though to Squallow. I'm not sure what happened to those guys. I think they had a bit of a squabble, and it's going to be another easy win for us. But back to the menu, you can see we've achieved all of our weekly goals now, which is by far away the best way to get points. So 5,600 points I had. Opting to buy the 2 liveries, they're the priority for me personally. I quite like that you have to press and hold them, so it's not like a press and, oh, my coin's already gone. But realistically, there's no point grinding this mode. As you can see in the top right, 27 days we got of these points, and I mean, you get about, I think it's about 50 points now per race if you win. Whereas you can get thousands and thousands of points from the weekly goals. So definitely just play maybe 3 races a week and to unlock all the things. But yeah, of course, a few error sessions later, and we get a new track. It is Las Vegas. But what we don't get is a full lobby of 5 people. The most the game could muster up for this one was 3 people. I don't understand why, especially considering it's been telling us that the lobby's been full. But anyway, 3 people it is at Vegas. So on the grid here, you can see it has actually filled the lobby with AI, which honestly I'm not too against. Obviously the AI will be set to a relatively low level, which I guess is what it is. But I prefer that rather than having empty lobbies, to be fair. So that's a decent choice. Obviously we know collisions are off. Just trying to avoid the dirty air of my rivals here, which looks like I've managed to do quite nicely. DRS as well on the guy that was just behind in Sector 1, so that will hopefully allow me to pull away. But I do actually make quite a big mistake here. This is not going to be another easy win, because here I just with the default setup, which you are forced to do, which again I'm not against, I just make a mistake. I just brake too late and smash into the wall. I thought I could make it. New damage was off. Unfortunately, I could not. So we're actually 85 seconds away from being eliminated here. Now here I was a bit torn. Do I cut the corner? Do I race normally? You can see torn. I do eventually decide to cut it, but try and go slow. But I do actually still get speed limited, so it's quite hard to cut that one, even though that wasn't an outrageous cut. I don't think it cost me too much time, actually. But definitely wasn't ideal for us. So got to try and catch these AI cars now. I don't know what the AI level's on, but I imagine it's I think often these events is something like 30. So we should be able to catch them even in less than a minute. I could do with some DRS, but I'm not quite going to get DRS range, I don't think. No, I'm not. Got to burn all my batteries to try and see if I can somehow get these AI in the next 50 seconds. As we come down into turn 1 now, you can see I have just about managed to catch them. Just 15 seconds left, but I want to try and get DRS on them. I actually forgot that collisions were off there because it's a bit weird. You don't get notified that collisions have been re-enabled. They just are re-enabled. So you need to just know that rather than get notified in the game, which is a little bit weird. But we hang on the outside there to get some DRS and fly past them. So we're up to P3. I don't think the AI will be beating us. You can see Event Skater has now been eliminated. Ray Racing will be next, about 50 seconds. But 50 seconds to catch the cars in front. Can I do that? Unfortunately, the answer to that is no. I did close him down quite nicely, but just need a little bit longer. You see, I try and sneak past him there, but that was just a no-go. I do eventually get eliminated. That does work, by the way. If you can fly past somebody or take them out, whatever, as long as you're ahead of them when the time reaches 0, regardless of your penalty situation, they will get eliminated. But honestly, some people like to moan about that. I quite like it. I like that you can kind of cheese it a little bit. I think that's fun. It's a game at the end of the day. I'm not actually against that personally. I think that's a fun element to it. But as we now spectate everybody else, you have to quit manually if you're done there. The only thing about this is I found it was a little bit weird to not have the elimination timer. You can see this guy just full throttle doing what I did. But I don't know why they haven't implemented the elimination timer, because otherwise you're just watching cars drive around circles. You need that timer, so a bit of a weird one there. But another 8 error messages later, including another lobby that had COTA, which I refused to race again. We do actually get a new track. We get Spa. I believe it's 3 circuits they rotate every week. I don't know why they limit it to 3, or why I seem to get COTA more than anything else today. But yeah, I'm just sort of purposely hanging back a little bit here. I knew that DRS is going to be important at Spa, making sure I get it here. We know it's enabled lap 1, so just sit behind him. I'm going to be easy flat through a Rouge anyway, so DRS should allow me to take the lead quite comfortably, and hopefully we can run away from there without any of the errors that we saw in Vegas. There it is, DRS enabled. I'm just going to try and pull over them as much as I can. They're all pretty much inside each other there, all very level, so obviously other people have got DRS as well, so the poor guy that was leading is now dropped right down. Opting into an outrageous corner cut, the car behind us now. I definitely was tempted to do that, but I thought, I don't think I need to do a massive one here. I could just do little cuts and just hopefully just run away with the race. And indeed I did. 3 seconds per lap was the advantage I had over the rest of the field. So this is a case of classic EA. Decent idea, terrible execution.